So this morning we're going to make some home fries. So first, of course, I'm going to wash my hands up. Remember, just like we've taught throughout this pandemic and even beforehand, it's going to be 20 full seconds, right, to make sure all the germs are off. And I should be in pretty good shape. I just took a shower, so it should be pretty clean. But you still want to make sure, because I've touched a lot of things, I've gotten a lot of things ready for this lesson. Okay? And we'll do that. So normally I would dry off, but the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to have my camera person get a little closer here, is wash the potatoes. So when you wash the potatoes, you just kind of want to quickly kind of scrub them off. Some people use a scrubbing brush. I'm just going to use my hands, and I just want to make sure all the dirt is off. Okay? Now this isn't a dirt, it's a spot, but I'll show you what we do with that in a second. All right. And I'm using about 2 pounds of the potatoes. I have a pretty good sized family, and they all like home fries, so I'm making a decent amount. One of the reasons I do like this recipe is because you can't really go wrong. It's kind of just throwing some seasoning on top of potatoes and cooking it up. So I'm going to bring these over to the cutting board. And now that they're washed off, I can dry my hands off here. Good. All right. So I'm going to bring the pan over here. You can use butter or oil. We talked about the pluses and minuses of the different types of fat used. I use olive oil. All right, and I'm just going to do enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And I can kind of take it and twirl it around like so. We'll get to that in a second. So some home fries have onions in it or peppers in it. I'm going to use just the seasoning. My family doesn't like the chunks of different vegetables in it for the most part, outside of myself and my wife. Also, some people, when they do home fries, they use a peeler and peel the skin off. I prefer the skin on for 2 reasons. One is it's more nutritious. A lot of the nutrition in a potato is on the skin. And 2, I like the flavor better. So let's start with the one with the little mark here. So if you see one with the little mark, it's pretty simple. Kind of take it and just kind of cut it off, and we can throw that away. All right? So what we want to do is kind of cube it. All right? So you can do it a couple of ways. You can go like this and just keep cutting. And remember, the sharper the knife, the safer it actually is, right? So as you can see, as I'm cutting up the potatoes here, this is a bigger one. So now with the bigger ones, you can cut off the end and kind of slowly cut that in there, right? And then you can see it goes into cubes, right? Just kind of gently go through here and do that, all right? And I'll be able, now the longer you cook, and I've been cooking since before I was your age, so just take your time with the cutting, right? You want to make sure that we're safe. I'm going to just cut a few more of these potatoes up. This one's a little thicker too. So once again, just gently put that in there, and there we go. All right, and I can kind of start putting some of these so they're out of my way, right in the pan. Okay, good. So I just have 5 more of these potatoes to go. So home fries is also one of those things that's great. Now look, I'm going to have the person, my camera person, my wife, come in there. See, that's a little bit of an eye potato. Those don't really taste very good. So I'm going to make sure that I cut that off. Good. Awesome. One of the things I really like about home fries is that it's a meal that you can have with breakfast, but they're also good as a side dish for dinners, or in our graduates' case, as the main course, you know. So, all right. We're going to just cut through the last few of these. All right. Once again, this is a larger one. Good. Just kind of looking at the potato. This has another mark there. See? So I'm just cutting that away. Like I said, I really enjoy the skin part of it. Oh, another one. We had our cat just say a little something there. Great. Good. I'm just going to take these and put them in as well. All right. Just 2 more to go and then we'll be set. So we're going to start off this lesson. Obviously it takes a while to cook potatoes and we'll get to that in a second. But this is going to go with scrambled eggs this morning for me, and you'll see the scrambled egg lesson later in the week. All right? So once again, good. All right, so I think that's good enough. I'm going to leave this potato here, and I'm going to come over the pan. I'm going to quickly wash my hands of the residue of the potatoes. All right. So as you can see, I have a lot of the seasonings out. I'm not going to use all of the seasonings, but I'll show you what I am going to put in. I'm going to put in most of them actually. So as you can see, I have salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion salt. I like rosemary. Paprika is big in a lot of the breakfast places. That gives it that color and a little bit of a kick. Not too much. Paprika is fairly mild overall. And I have adobo as well. So what I want to do is I'm actually not going to use the salt. One, we talked about it, sodium is not that great for you. And I'm going to get enough salt in the onion salt. So all you do with this is first, we're going to put it on, and we can put it on kind of a medium to medium high heat. All right? And then all I'm going to do is make sure I kind of cover the potatoes with the seasoning. All right, you want enough to coat them. And you want to remember the order of what you put them in. So I'm just going to line them up like this, and you'll see why in a second. Good. And my family likes a little more kick, so I'm going to probably add more paprika than what you guys normally would. Okay. Add a little of the adobo seasoning. And the last thing I'm going to do is a little bit of rosemary. I love rosemary and potatoes go really well together. So now I have a spatula here, and I'm just going to put the oil I have in the bottom and turn it over, and that way it'll coat all the way through, okay? And then you can see that everything will just need just a little bit more. And then you're going to do it one more time, all right? So there's the pepper. Remember, we're doing the same order so we don't forget anything. Now the garlic. Paprika, it's not as much as you need last time because they've kind of already been coated once. And the adobo. And I think we have enough rosemary in there. So one more stir. Wonderful. And you can see the color already, right? And that's looking really, really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it, move these, and make sure this is on the outside, right? If I start cooking, I don't want it here because of that burner. I want it towards the outside, all right? So I have it on medium heat. So what's going to happen? You're going to get a nice crisp on the bottom, and we'll be able to stir it in about 10 minutes or so. But the cover, the steam will go through and cook the potatoes all the way through. You want a crisp on your potato, you don't want in the potato. So you want to make sure that it's soft on the inside, crispy on the outside, and you will see the final product of this during my scrambled eggs lesson. So enjoy your home fries.